There we go. There we go. All right. Here we go. Today we're just doing a quick one on Stoic sayings for modern life. Right? So I just thought it'd be fun. I'll just go over this, then we'll for the recording, then we'll talk about it a little bit and just have some fun as I wait on the pest guy. But the 5 themes that I've been following lately is the one about mortality. Mortality sharpens your attention, right? So we'll talk about that a little bit. Then we'll talk about discipline, that it's built through choices, not moods. As our dear friend Tony Robbins says, if you wait till you feel like it, you're never going to do it. Okay.
What if you've been trying to influence people the hard way? Most people learn techniques. I teach the system underneath. Not NLP, not sales, not psychology. Understanding people. FBI negotiation, behavioral profiling, NLP, waking hypnosis. Within 1 minute, you'll begin seeing things you've been missing. You won't just learn techniques. You won't just learn techniques. You'll become the person people trust. Become the person people trust.
One day, you'll stop wondering what to say.
You'll become the person people trust.
Licensed psychologist, crisis negotiation trained, 40+ years teaching NLP, master hypnotist, founder of NFNLP, thousands trained worldwide. The human brain, a universe of golden pathways. We communicate, and these connections ignite. Thoughts flow, bridging the gap between us. You are capable of extraordinary things. Find your courage. Oh. Thank you all. Some trainings give you information. This one changes the way you see people. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Some people spend a lifetime trying to understand people. We'll show you how to start in 2 days. I'll see you in Marlboro.
Control what's yours and what's not. I was talking to somebody there in the recovery world, and they kind of into this, and they said, but you can't really look at Stoic thinking and have it align with like the 12-step approach. And I'm like, why not? They said, well, the 12-step approach supposedly says powerless, right? But the Stoic approach says you're powerless over everything outside your skull. They align. I can't control the government or the weather and that. Anyway, then we'll talk about adversity. What gets in the way becomes the way. I love that saying, So we'll do that. Virtue, it's to be good. What do they say? It's better. Don't talk about what a good man is, just be one. Yeah. And there's one thing I've noticed big with a lot of things. People talk about being virtuous and honest and that, but they don't seem to live it. And your attitude, right? So that's kind of the theme. So we'll just jump into that. Mortality clarifies the essential. It sounds morbid, but we're all going to die. We don't know what day, what time. Shit will be unsaid. Projects will be unfinished. Stuff, the dishes will still be in the sink. All this other stuff, right? But if you think about that, and if you were going to leave life now or in the next day or two, would that change what you do and think? Right? If time is short, and it is, trivia loses its grip. Right. So what's important to you at the time? Okay? And this is one I would say is easier said than done. Well, I'll share one, and the recording will get out. But I had the chance to go do something in our field to make some money, but it wasn't much, or be in this play, right? And so the choice was do the play, which was basically community theater, just make a small stipend, or go do this other thing. And since I started looking at this kind of stuff, I went like, looking back in a couple years, what would I rather have done? The play or another thing at like this little training thing, right? And so I think that's what it means by it clarifies what's essential, right? And delay is self-deception. And I can tell you this one, I see it, and I know Bruce sees it here in the wonderful state of Florida, where people save every penny. They don't enjoy a goddamn thing in their lives. They retire to Florida, and they're miserable, and they can't do shit. They end up almost moving to Florida and going right into a nursing home, or assisted living. You're like, shit, you could have done that in DC or New York or wherever the hell you're from. Why, but I mean, I see it a lot down here, right? So it's about, it's, what is the saying? It's not death that a man should fear, but you should fear never beginning to live. There's a play, it's called Last Little Red Hot Lovers. And the guy has it's a Neil Simon play. But he's got a beautiful little talk where he talks about his whole life he's been good. He's never done anything bad. And for once, he wants a memory. He goes, no, I love my wife. I love my kids. I love my, my job. But I've never, it's that he never really did anything, right? And it was Marcus Aurelius, of course, also said the act of dying is one of the acts of life. Our culture, Billy might know, he's more of the serious student of everything, but that we've removed death from our lives as much as possible. It used to be you died at home. Your grandma died in the farm. You just buried her. It was like it sounded cold, but that death became part of life. Now they pack you up, ship you off to some sterile room, and no one sees you, and just kind of interesting. So that's enough on mortality. And discipline is identity and action. Everybody talks about discipline. Very few people have it. And it's easy to have discipline and shit you want to do. Okay? I mean, it's like people go, you have discipline to work out. No, I actually enjoy working out. That's not that hard for me, right? It's like some days I have to push myself, but it's like I like it, right? I have to discipline my eating, right? Because, So again, it's the old saying, and I can never pronounce that guy's name. Say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Right? Decide who you are, and let your habits build that person. And I would add, do what you have to do, and find a mentor or someone that's done what you want to do, and do what they did. Whether that's the 12-step program's based on that. There's people there that's overcome the drugs, whatever the issue is, right? So, and again, the saying from Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be, just be one. I really wish they would put that in the Capitol. But hope springs eternal, right? And the other thing is practice beats intensity. right? Consistency beats, of course, he's credited with saying it, and he didn't come up with it the first time, which is Bruce Lee, that consistency will beat intensity every time. Right? So, and nothing great is created suddenly. You know, growth is cumulative. It's the small steps, right? The repetitions, repetition. You know, we have an expert here, but he could talk about why do you do fire drills constantly when you're at sea? You know, why, right? It's because it's building the repetition into what, so you don't think when you act, right? And Marcus Aurelius again, if it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it, right? And again, that should be in the capital, you know. So anyway, master your inner domain. You know, this is like what's really under your control. You know, it's your response. You know, what is it? Viktor Frankl, between stimulus and response, there's a gap. In that gap is our ability to choose. In our choice lies our destiny. I probably screwed that up a little bit, but that was close. Right? That was close. It's like, so most, you know, it's your reaction to it, right? Not outside events. You know, this is the kind of thing that made Tony Robbins super successful to build at the beginning with his things don't have, nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it. And, you know, it's kind of interesting. Cool. Where's my, there we go. All right. Meaning creates the suffering, right? Things don't disturb us, our judgments do. And how do you pronounce that guy's name? Billy? Billy would know.
Epictetus.
Say it again. Epictetus.
Epictetus.
Epictetus. Cool. Right. If I'm going to quote him, I should be able to say his name. Right. And again, not the pain that you have or the discomfort isn't external. It's your internal response to it. It's like that study that I think the VA did it. I don't know if they still do it, but they quit using the term pain when they were asking your pain threshold. They ask your comfort level. Right? I think they kind of quit doing it, but I remember when I would go in, they'd always say, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your discomfort level in your knees and back? You know, rather than pain, because we're the NLPers here. And we all know that, excuse me, the word pain hits different neural places in your head than discomfort. You know, or as some people say, you know, things are going to suck. Sometimes you got to embrace the suck. You know, it's just what it is, right? So that's another good one. And again, I guess Marcus Aurelius is the most famous. With that one is the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And supposedly that's this, when they wrote, if you ever watched the Star Wars thing, The Mandalorian, this is the way. Somewhere in there he says that. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the way. I'm like, oh, somebody was, you know, somebody in the writer's room, you know, was that, right? And the other big one is, you know, Seneca, and that we suffer in our imagination more than reality. You dread something, and then you go do it. And it wasn't that bad. I do it all the time I got a task to do that I'll spend 2 hours procrastinating on it. And when I sit down to do it, it takes me 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Right? So anyway, and your thoughts become your character. No man is free who's not master of himself. That's the only thing you control. And even then, it's, do Do you really control it? You know? And I like that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. I wish we had leaders like Marcus Aurelius alive today that would actually, do that. So live deliberately, remember death, govern the mind, practice the good, turn obstacles into training. Turn obstacles into training. I love that kind of thinking. So anyway, that's just a little quick thing on an overview of it. Each one of those you can write paragraphs. Hell, you can write books on all those topics, right? And have some fun with it. So that was just the quick. Did a quick talk. Still waiting on my. He's here. So I'm gonna have to cut this short, and I shall talk to everyone soon. Bye.
Thanks, Will.
Is it a crazy idea that in 2 days, you could walk away from this convention with a system that changes every client conversation you'll ever have? You've been doing hypnosis for years, you're good, but there's always that client, the one who's resistant, the one where nothing lands. Here's what nobody taught you. Resistance isn't a client problem, it's a language problem. Dr. William Horton has spent 40 years figuring out how the FBI negotiates impossible situations, how military intelligence profiles anyone in 90 seconds, and how waking hypnosis bypasses the critical factor in everyday conversation. He put all of it into one system, Essentials of NLP Certification Training Course, post-convention. 2 days in Marlborough, Massachusetts, August 10th and 11th, 2026. Register now at ngh.net/course #223, because the best hypnotist in the room isn't the one who knows the most inductions. It's the one who never needs to convince anyone of anything, naturally.